Okay, so it's taken a while to get this to you. Just going to take the vacuum apart just to show you what's what. It's just a normal aquavac, or most of them are similar. They've got some sort of lug here, and usually a filter in a basket sit on here. But I think any motorised vacuum, you just make the advantage with that. Obviously, it makes it easy. It's just the right size round hole. That's all. It's all strapped together with one big strap, because that's all I had at the time. I've got some of those smaller ones with a 25mm webbing somewhere that I can't find at the moment, so when I found them I'll put 1 or 2 of them across there, because this one goes crisscross all on the corners. That's just basically to hold it all together. You need that. Obviously when you're carrying the thing, it needs to be one unit. Once you've captured your bees wherever, sling them in the back of the car and you're away. You can actually use those handles then just to pick it up. Okay, the middle section is a straightforward, a standard brood box. And basically the idea is you can use a brood box. If you use the first capture I used a brood box and a standard on top, because it was quite a big hive. Since then I've only ever used just the brood box on its own. At the top here, okay, a hole for your hoover. That's an exhaust control, or a valve basically to control the amount of vacuum. Obviously if that's wide open, then you've got half the amount of vacuum going through the business end of the vacuum. And I found that basically something like that, so it is literally half, or just a little bit more than half, that you need of the vacuum power. Obviously that's quite critical if you don't want the bee being sucked in with too much force that they end up being unconscious when they arrive in their home. And on the other side of that we've got some mosquito gauze, mosquito netting. This was I just happened to have a piece in the garage, quite honestly. Might be better with a fabric one. That's finer, but it's working fine. And then just stapled on or fixed on with that. What they have done in a lot of the, a few of the ones I've seen on the internet, they put a rubber, sort of foam rubber around the edge there, like a draft excluder that you put on doors and stuff like that, and that would then basically seal that against the top of your other thing. I'm currently using duct tape, which means I have to tape it up, so it's not so. It's a bit more of a schlep to take apart and put together, but then you don't do it all the time, so it's not a biggie. That's basically that. And for transport, they say you take the motor off, and then you've got plenty of ventilation for the bees for transport. Obviously they can't get through because of the netting. Okay, that's the top end of it. Then you've got a normal brood box. These are just some of the comb that I've taken out of the captures that I've done, or the removals that I've done in various conditions. And what I did to start off with, the first couple of captures I actually vacuumed the bees out first, and then went in to get the comb. The problem with that, of course, is that they're going in onto the foundation sheets. There was something in here, obviously. The foundation sheets with nothing familiar. So what I found with the last 2 captures, okay, they were smaller hives. I take the comb out with bees on, bang them in here first. While the bees are still active in their hive, bang them in here in the same sequence as I said in the other video, so that it mocks or mimics exactly where they were, and the sequence that they were in before. Put them all in, then put the top on, and then vacuum the bees. What timing wise I've done is I've gone there in the mid-afternoons. I've gone to the venue mid-afternoons, late afternoons, 3 o'clock-ish, something like that. Opened up, assessed what's the best way to get into the bees, because that can take almost as long as actually capturing them. Got access to them, and then start taking the comb out, and then by the time you finish doing that, the hour gone 4 or 5 o'clock-ish, and then the bees are actually returning. The workers actually returning to their raided nest, if you like. So basically, when you vacuum the bees that were on the combs, that are still in the hive, you're actually collecting the workers that are returning home as well. And you just keep on going, or I'm just keeping on going until I've basically got all that's flying around. So that's just a standard brew box. Okay, and then the base is also very simple. A lot of ants. I'm getting a lot of trouble with ants over here. Basically just a half the size of a brew box, maybe even less. Not particular. What's it? Same size. This is your business end. This is where you where the vacuum hose is going to get going in. This is just going into a. I've got a stopper there just to stop it down like that, and then like that. This is just going into fitting tightly in there. At this stage, I might make up a 3D printed boss at one stage to make it better, but it seems to work okay. It just comes out reasonably easy. So if I pull, on the other end, if it does come out, it's not a big issue because the vacuum is there. The bees can't escape anyway, or the vacuum is on. But then obviously you close it down before you switch the vacuum off, so the bees can't get out. Okay, this is fairly straightforward. A sloping thing. One mistake I made here, I underused a piece of pressed board, which was about the right size, which I shouldn't have actually done. I should have used a cut piece of plywood, because I've already got it wet a couple of times and it's all swollen up. As you can see, it's all discoloured and that. So that will need changing at some stage or other. But that was just nailed in from the side at an angle. I think the idea of that being an angle is so that the bees can actually walk up and haven't got so far to walk. They don't just come out here and then just fall to the floor. They come out and they walk up. Usually you find a few dead or unconscious bees there that didn't make the transition down the vacuum pipe very well. And that seems to be, quite honestly, the critical thing is just don't have the vacuum too high or too strong, if you like, and you adjust that by that little valve on the top of the box there. That's basically what it is. It's very simple. Scarily simple actually. This thing has been overtaken by ants. I need to give this a wash off because obviously it's still got some bits of stuff from the removals that I've done. One thing I did forget to mention, I'm using this directly onto the hive. I didn't do it like this originally, although looking at the internet afterwards, there are quite a few that do it like this way. I didn't do it like this originally because I was concerned about the noise and the vibration disturbing the really pissed off bees, quite honestly. So what I did was I had this standing alongside with a normal vacuum pipe going from the complete vacuum cleaner from there into a hole here, just there, which is now blocked because there's a modification. Basically so that the vibration and noise weren't so intense on the actual hive itself. I found that because the pipes were in good condition and there were so many joints, there was a joint here and then a joint into the vacuum cleaner itself, I just lost too much vacuum, honestly. So I looked at the internet again and found a load more where they'd actually done exactly this. So obviously the noise and vibration isn't particularly an issue, seemingly, and this works like a dream, honestly. It really does. It's magic. Yeah. Okay. So that's a modification that I've made already.